Hi, I'm Katie Cleary, President and founder of World Animal News and Peace for Animals. And these are the top breaking animal news stories making headlines, and how you can get involved. It's with a heavy heart that one shares the news that American Charlotte Maxwell Jones, the founder of Kabul Small Animal Rescue, is currently still in Afghanistan. She remains there with many of the innocent dogs who were tragically abandoned in Kabul after being denied access to planes that were evacuating the war-torn country. Charlotte remains in Kabul because she refused to leave one of her disabled rescue puppies behind. These companion animals, rescued dogs and cats, as well as contract working dogs, were allegedly left behind based on decisions made by the United States government. None of the dogs were owned by the U.S. military. In a statement from Kabul Small Animal Rescue, those on the ground have no intention of giving up on the animals. Despite the grueling setbacks, they will work with a growing and dedicated team to continue efforts to evacuate all of their animals and staff. Thank you to the SPCA International, Warpaws, Puppy Rescue Mission, and Marley's Mutts, who have worked tirelessly with Kabul Small Animal Rescue to evacuate their animals and staff. Juan will continue to update this developing story. We pray for all the people and animals still left behind in Afghanistan. We have some good news as Pen Farthing and the Nowzad rescued animals arrived safely in the UK after evacuating Kabul. They're still working on evacuating staff. The close to 200 animals arrived in London over the weekend and are currently in quarantine. The Nowzad Rescue Organization and its heroic founder shared the news on social media, with Farthing calling Operation Ark a partial success. While the evacuated dogs and cats are not yet available for adoption, they will be in the coming weeks. According to Farthing, the priority right now is securing the evacuation of the Nowzad staff and their families who are not allowed to leave the country yet. To make a donation to help Nowzad Rescue with Operation Ark and to find out when the evacuated animals are available for adoption, please visit nowzad.com. In legislative news, Hong Kong passes a history-making amendment bill that targets the criminal networks and syndicates behind illegal wildlife trafficking. The bill provides additional and appropriate powers to local law enforcement, as well as providing a clear mandate to deter, detect, disrupt, and dismantle criminal networks responsible for wildlife trafficking. In the midst of a biodiversity crisis, in large part driven by the illegal wildlife trade and exacerbated by climate change, which has altered habitats, Hong Kong has become a hub for these criminal activities. Shockingly, Hong Kong authorities have seized 929 metric tons of rare and endangered wildlife in 1,680 seizures from 2018 to 2020. In some promising news, South Korea legally acknowledges animals as sentient beings, not objects, in a new amendment to the Civil Act. The Ministry of Justice in South Korea announces the new plans in order to prevent cases of abuse and abandonment. Once the new clause is incorporated into the Civil Code, South Korea will become one of a handful of countries to recognize animals as beings with a right to protection, enhanced welfare, and respect for life. The amendment is anticipated to be approved next month by the South Korean National Assembly. In wildlife news, a new report confirms that for the first time in a century, California has at least 2 wolf packs consisting of 12 pups. 2 of California's 3 existing wolf families, the Lassen and Whaleback packs, have given birth to at least 6 pups each this year, according to a new quarterly report published by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. In January, federal protections were removed from wolves across nearly the entire lower 48 states. This also includes California, but wolves in the state are still fully protected under California's Endangered Species Act. Sadly, protections have been removed in neighboring states like Oregon, where many of the wolves in California are traveling from. For the first time in Indonesia, dog meat traders will be prosecuted after a truck with 78 traumatized dogs was intercepted by police. A gang of dog meat traders was caught with the dogs bound and gagged in the back of a truck headed for slaughter in central Java. Officials have confirmed that the criminals will be prosecuted under animal health laws. Horrifically, every month, tens of thousands of these dogs are taken from the streets and illegally transported to many parts of Indonesia. Many die from heat stroke, dehydration, or injuries inflicted during capture, even before reaching their final destination. Take action now by signing the global petition from Dog Meat Free Indonesia, urging the Indonesian government to ban the brutal trade in dogs and consumption of dog meat throughout the country. You can find the petition on our website. 4 new baby Javan rhinos born this year increased the critically endangered population to 75 individuals in the wild. Indonesia's Ministry of Environment and Forestry made the exciting announcement about the world's only remaining population of Javan rhinos. In April and June of 2021, 2 Javan rhino calves were spotted on camera by the Ujung Kulon National Park's Javan Rhino Monitoring Team. This follows the birth of 2 Javan rhinos in March of 2021. The International Rhino Foundation, through its on-the-ground partner Yayasan Bada Indonesia, provides support for monitoring programs and recently donated 100 new cameras to replace those that were damaged or missing. Thankfully, there has been no poaching reported in the park in more than 20 years. The UK government announces plans to ban the brutal shark fin trade as a part of the new action plan for animal welfare. The UK has a strong track record in marine conservation and has been pressing for stronger international action to protect sharks against unsustainable fishing practices and shark finning, which is the practice of removing a shark's fins at sea and discarding the finless body back into the water. Out of over 500 species of sharks, 143 are listed as threatened under the International Union for Conservation of Nature, with different species ranging from vulnerable to critically endangered. The presence and variety of sharks in marine ecosystems is vital and a key indicator of ocean health. Let's fight to ban the horrific shark fin trade worldwide. In environmental news, a federal court blocks a massive Arctic oil and gas project in Alaska after officials failed to properly examine risks to climate and polar bears. The large oil and gas project, which was approved by the Trump administration, is known as the Willow Master Development Plan in Alaska's Western Arctic. The court held that the Bureau of Land Management failed to properly consider the impacts of greenhouse gas emissions generated by the project, in violation of the National Environmental Policy Act. It also did not properly consider the impact on polar bears, in violation of the Endangered Species Act. 590 million barrels of oil would have been extracted during the life of the project, resulting in nearly 280 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions, which is the equivalent of 65 coal plants operating for 1 year. A new lawsuit challenges Iowa's ag law that bans video and audio recordings in factory farm investigations. The Animal Legal Defense Fund, together with a coalition of public interest groups represented by Public Justice, filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa, challenging the recently passed Iowa recording ban. The new ag law would consider video and audio recording in factory farms trespassing and consider it a crime. This yet again criminalizes the tools of undercover journalism and investigations in violation of the First Amendment, just as the state's previous 2 ag laws did that were challenged in the past. This is the 9th lawsuit challenging state ag laws around the country. For more breaking animal news stories and how you can help, visit worldanimalnews.com.